Good morning, boys and girls. This week, we are going to be speaking about different kinds of pets. And some of you may be lucky enough to have a pet, or maybe you've got more than one pet. But we're going to have a look at the kinds of animals that we are allowed to have as pets, or that we should have as pets, and then maybe you're going to see some animals that you didn't know that you could keep as pets. If you don't have a pet, then you can have a look at the different kinds of pets and maybe think about one that you would like to have. Then we are going to have a look at how to look after your pets and also exactly what they look like. And you're going to have a good think about that, especially the way that they look, and you're going to use some lovely adjectives, and you're going to write about a pet that you have or one that you would like to have, and I'm going to read about your pets. So on this page are 4 kinds of pets that are usual pets that people have. So they're not unusual, that they're extraordinary or they're different. These are the kinds of pets most people who do have pets keep these kinds. So we have a cat, and a cat would have kittens. Then you have fish, maybe in a fish tank or in a bowl, or maybe in a fish pond outside. And remember, the bigger the bowl or the bigger the tank, the bigger the pond, the bigger the fish grow, because they wouldn't grow too big in a bowl. This looks like a glass bowl, because then they wouldn't be able to survive and swim around freely. So they grow to the size of their containers. I'm very glad that humans don't grow to the size of their houses. Imagine how huge we would be. And then a dog and a bird. And this little bird, they come in beautiful colors, is called a Budgie. So you get the green ones and you get the beautiful blue ones, and they sing beautifully. And then a little yellow bird is called a canary, and that one really does sing beautifully. So these are 4 typical pets that, if humans do have pets, they normally have one of these. Now we're going to look at other kinds of pets that you could maybe have. And some of these you cannot have because we are not allowed to have wild animals that could be a danger to people. So goldfish, that's what we saw in the other book, in the bowl. Goldfish, some people have that as a pet. People do have horses, but they use them to ride, and if you are lucky enough to have a horse, it's normally kept away from your house at a stable where they can look after them, and then you can go in the afternoons and ride them. So that's a horse. And an eagle is a wild bird and quite dangerous. It's a bird of prey, and it's got these very sharp claws called talons. So an eagle wouldn't be a pet that you would have at your house normally. There's another little budgie that was in the cage in the other book. A shark. Would you be able to keep a shark in your swimming pool? Oh, I hope not. Maybe just a plastic one that you could play with in the bath, but not a shark as a pet. Then a hamster. You could maybe have a hamster quite easily. Could be in a cage, and he could have a little wheel that he runs on as a toy, and a hamster is also a common pet. Then a dog, definitely. Then a lion. No, a lion is a wild animal. A zebra, also wild. A rabbit. You could have a rabbit quite easily in a hutch outside, or you can build it in your garden, a hutch, because rabbits dig. So if you put their houses on the ground, then they dig underneath and they escape. And a giraffe. No, a giraffe is also a wild animal. Some people keep big spiders like tarantulas. Some people keep snakes. They're guinea pigs that are of this family. Some people keep white rats. And all kinds of different pets. Some people have bearded dragons, but we can't have things like sharks and lions and crocodiles and so on, which are dangerous and also which are really wild animals. Pets come and live with us as a family, and we need to look after them carefully, and they can't be animals that are wild, because we never know if that animal is tame or not, or if it's still too dangerous. So, those are the kinds of pets, and I hope that you've spotted one of yours. Now, your pet that you have depends on your house and where you live. So, for instance, I was speaking about a horse in the last book. I couldn't have a horse in my house or in my back garden. So if I had a horse as a pet, I would have to keep him or her at a stable. So often, people have pets according to where they live, and that is sensible. That means you've thought about it, because it's no use you getting a big dog and let's say you live in a flat. We spoke about what a flat is with your spelling words, and then people start complaining because your dog's barking because he wants more space and he wants to run around, and then it's not the dog's fault, but you get into all kinds of trouble because people are complaining about the dog, and eventually you very sadly need to get rid of the dog. So before you buy a pet or before you adopt a pet, you need to think if you are able to look after it and if your house can keep that pet. What I mean by that is there enough space for a dog to run around? Is there water for a duck to swim on a pond or so on? So it depends on where you live. Some townhouse complexes or some places where people live do not allow any pets, and then maybe like cats and dogs, but then maybe you could have goldfish in a bowl. But it just depends on where you live and what kind of pet you can have. So now what we're going to do is, these owners have different pets. So I'm going to read you what the owner says, and you're going to see which pet goes with which owner. So let's have a look. These are the pets. They are goldfish, snake, a cat, a duck, a pigeon, and a dog. So this man says, I chose my pet because I want to study birds. It lives on the pond in our garden. So which pet do you think that is? Right, there are two birds. But does a pigeon go on a pond? No. So this man has a duck as a pet. Then, my granddad gave me my pet. He's been racing them for years. Right? So which one of these would race? Yes, a pigeon. They put a little band on the bird's leg, and they send them out and they race, and then they come back home. So they're called racing pigeons. So her grandpa or her granddad gave her one, and he's been racing them for years. So maybe she'll also start racing pigeons. I live in a very small flat. My pets don't take up much space and they don't make any noise. Right, so what do you think that is? And it says, my pets don't take up too much space. It could be the fish, but it also could be a snake, because they don't make any noise. So let's see about that. We'll leave C and have a look. I like my pet because I live alone in a big old house. My pet makes me feel safe. Oh, I know the answer to that one. What makes you feel safe? A dog. Right, he barks and he looks after you, protects you. So that lady lives alone, but her dog protects her. I'm old and don't go out much. My pet is easy to look after and cheap to feed. Okay, I think I've worked it out. I think he has the cat and she has the fish, because she said my pets don't take up much space and they don't make any noise. All right, and a cat is easy to look after. Right, and then the last one, I wanted a very unusual pet. It's great fun. Now all my friends want one. So there is only one left, and out of these, I think the most unusual one would be a snake. So I think he has a snake, and I think if he was my friend, even if I thought that it was an unusual pet, I don't think I would like a snake as a pet. But maybe some of you have a snake. All right, you must just make sure that it's a safe snake and that you look after it carefully. Right, so those are some of the pets that people have, and then you can think about the pets that you have, or maybe that you know some of the children in our grade 1 class have.